This is why I always check out my local library's used bookstore. There are actually 2 or 3 library districts around me in Vegas and Henderson. There's also one in Boulder City. I have in front of me 16 books, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 books, and I spent less than $12 for all of them, which is insane. And some of these books are actually the books that I've heard of before from people on the internet, and also some of the books that I want to read that I've added to my TBR list. Hi friend, my name is Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Let's just jump right ahead to the first few books that I bought at the local library today. These 3 books are part of a trilogy that I've actually never heard of before, but when I was at the bookstore of my local library, all of the books were there for $1 each. And I feel like that's unheard of. Usually if it's part of a series or a saga or trilogy, you kind of have to hunt them down. But all 3 of them were in there calling my name to bring them home to me. So I decided to get it. The trilogy that I'm talking about are these 3 books. I think it's called Sea of Ink and Gold by Tracy Chee, I believe. This is actually a pretty old book. I think this one is first released in 2016. But like I said, they were all there calling my name, so I decided to get them. And also, when I was looking at the girl in the cover, she kind of looks like IU, don't you think? If you know who she is, she's a Korean singer. Pretty famous, I think, in my husband's opinion, because she is his favorite singer of all time, maybe. Maybe like from this one. If you know who IU is, I think she kind of looks like her. But anyways, this books or this trilogy sounds really interesting. It's by an Asian American author. Anyways, let me just read the synopsis of this first book, because I know if I read the second and third one, it's probably gonna spoil the whole series for me and probably for you. Safiya lives her life on the run. After her father is murdered, she flees to the forest with her aunt Nin, the only person left she can trust. They survive in the wilderness together, hunting and stealing what they need, forever looking over their shoulders for new threats. But when Nin is kidnapped, Safiya is suddenly on her own with no way to know who's taken Nin or where she is. Her only clue is a strange rectangular object that once belonged to her father, something she comes to realize is a book. Though reading is unheard of in Safiya's world, she slowly learns, unearthing the book's closely guarded secrets, which may be the key to Nin's disappearance, and discovering what really happened the day her father was killed. With no time to lose, and the unexpected help of swashbuckling pirates and an enigmatic stranger, Safiya sets out on a dangerous journey to rescue her aunt, using the book as her guide. In the end, she discovers what the book had been trying to tell her all along. Nothing is as it seems, and the end of her story is only the beginning. The second book that I got, I feel like most everybody probably have read them. It's been adapted to a movie, I believe, and it's called The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is definitely not the usual paperback that I would get. I think this is like either a mass paperback or a pocketbook or something. But it was only 50 cents, so I decided to get them. This is about Lucy and Joshua who hate each other, and they have no problem displaying their feelings through a series of ritualistic, passive-aggressive maneuvers as they sit across from each other, executive assistants to co-CEOs of a publishing company. Lucy can't understand Joshua's joyless, uptight, meticulous approach to his job, and Joshua is clearly baffled by Lucy's overly bright clothes, quirkiness, and Pollyanna attitude. Now, up for the same promotion, their battle of wills has come to a head, and Lucy refuses to back down when their latest game could cost her her dream job. But the tension between Lucy and Joshua has also reached its boiling point, and Lucy is discovering that maybe she doesn't hate Joshua, and maybe he doesn't hate her either, or maybe this is just another game. I can't wait to read it. If you have read this book recently, or maybe back when it first came out, let me know in the comment below what your thoughts are. So the next book that I have, I feel like it's also pretty popular. This is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And again, I felt left out that I haven't read this book. I was also trying to kind of read the synopsis, and some of these Greek names I just cannot pronounce. But this is basically a tale of gods and goddesses, kings and queens, immortal fame, and the human heart. I think I'm gonna try and go into this kind of like a little bit blind maybe, and then see what I feel about it. And again, if you have read this book, let me know in the comment below, because I know some of you have probably read this book before. The next book that I got is actually part of like a classic, I think, when they sorted out at the library bookstore, and it's called Waiting by Ha Jin. I've actually never heard about this book, and when I read the synopsis, it sounds pretty intriguing. So let me just read it for you and let me know if it is also interesting for you. Every summer, Lin Kong, a doctor in the Chinese army, returns to his village to end his loveless marriage with the humble and touchingly loyal Shu Yu. It was actually an arranged marriage. But each time, Lin must return to the city to tell Mana, the educated modern nurse he loves, that they will have to postpone their engagement once again. Caught between the conflicting claims of these two utterly different women and trapped by a culture in which adultery can ruin lives and careers, Lin has been waiting for 18 years. This year, he promises, will be different. Who would wait 18 years to marry or to be together with a married man? I mean, that's just too long. You know, like how when you see those type of like characters in a movie or something, you know, the other friend would say they would never leave her for you. Like, why are you waiting? But honestly, that is why it's super interesting to me. I just want to see what happens at the end. I mean, even for like Shu Yu, the wife, like I would just end it right then and there. Anyways, that is an interesting book. I don't know if you've heard about it or if you have read it, but it won award, National Book Award winner. I don't know what year. Oh, it's also a Pulitzer Prize finalist, so I can't wait to read this. The next one, the next few ones, I feel like people probably have heard and read the book, but this is the next one that I got. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This book, I feel like, again, I've heard about them so many times from videos that I watch, and when I found it for 50 cents, of course I have to grab it. I have to bring it home. Olive Torres is used to being the unlucky twin. From inexplicable mishaps to a recent layoff, her life seems to be almost comically jinxed. By contrast, her sister Amy is an eternal champion. She even managed to finance her entire wedding by winning a slew of contests. Unfortunately for Olive, the only thing worse than constant bad luck is having to spend a wedding day with the best man and her nemesis, Ethan Thomas. Olive braces herself for wedding hell, determined to put on a brave face, but when the entire wedding party gets food poisoning, the only people who aren't affected are Olive and Ethan. Suddenly, there's a free honeymoon up for grabs, and Olive will be damned if Ethan gets to enjoy paradise solo. Agreeing to a temporary truce, the pair head for Maui. After all, 10 days of bliss are worth having to assume the role of loving newlyweds, right? But the weird thing is, Olive doesn't mind playing pretend. In fact, the more she pretends to be the luckiest woman alive, the more it feels like she might be. Okay, sign me up. Fake dating, fake marriage, I guess. I want to say enemies to lover? So I can't wait to read this. I do have, I think, 2 more Christina Lauren's books, and I haven't read any of them. But I know that these books are kind of up my alley. I love romance books. And I honestly love the fake dating, fake marriage trope. I don't know why, I just love it because I know they're gonna fall in love at the end. So I can't wait to read this book. The next book that I have is The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. Hailey Piper is turning over a new leaf. After belly crawling out of a hotel room, she decided it's time to become a full-on adult. She gets a new apartment, a new haircut, and a new wardrobe. But when she logs on to the dating app, she sees none other than Jack Marshall, the guy whose room she snuck out of. After agreeing they are absolutely not interested in each other, Jack and Hailey realize they're each other's perfect wing person in their searches for the one. They text about their dates, often scheduling them at the same restaurant, so that if things don't go well, the two of them can get tacos afterwards. Spoiler, they get a lot of tacos together. Discouraged by the lack of prospects, Jack and Hailey make a wager to see who can find true love first. But when they agree to be fake dates for a weekend wedding, all bets are off. As they pretend to be a couple, lines become blurred and each struggles to remember why the other was a bad idea to begin with. Again, with the fake dating. Of course I'm gonna, I think, love this book. Hopefully I do. And adding like all of the bets and stuff like that, that actually sounds pretty fun. So if you have read this book, again, let me know your thoughts in the comment below. This next one, I just decided to get it because it says a thriller in the front of the book. This is called Someone Else's Life by Lynn Liao Butler. I'm not really someone who would read like mystery or thriller or horror even, but I recently read Julie Chen is Dead by Lian Zhang and I absolutely love it. So I've been trying to find some thriller and mystery that is not super like scary. I mean, I know they're gonna be a little bit scary for me, so I'm gonna read them during the day. But I decided to get this because it's only 50 cents. The cover actually piqued my interest, and so I decided to get it. Blow by blow, Annie Lynn's life crumbles. Her dance studio goes bankrupt. Her mother and beloved dog are gone the same year. Then a terrible accident leaves her young son traumatized. It's time for a change. Palm trees, mai tais, peace and quiet. Annie should be at ease, safe in her new quiet home with her husband and son. She hopes proximity to her family can provide them all with a sense of belonging and calm. But soon, items from her past start turning up. Her dog's collar, a bracelet that disappeared years ago, and she has the unnerving sensation she's being watched. Reality begins to fracture and Annie's panic attacks return. When, during a brewing storm, a woman appears on her doorstep looking for shelter, Annie is relieved to have the company and feels an unexplainable bond with her visitor. As the night progresses, Annie realizes that the woman is no stranger. Their lives are intertwined and Annie might just lose everything. I don't know, it sounds pretty interesting, not scary, maybe thrilling, yes. And I've also never heard of this author before. She is Taiwanese from like the author's bio thing in the back of the book. And she moved to the States when she was 7. So hopefully I find this book not too scary. And maybe I will do some more research about this author. If you have read the book or read anything else from the author, let me know in the comment below if there's any other books of hers that I should check out next. The next book that I got, again, for 50 cents is The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. I really hit the jackpot. I'm pretty sure a lot of you probably have heard about this book or maybe even read the book, so let me know again in the comments if you have read it. But for those of you who haven't read it, let's just read the back of the book. The Albrights are a family in crisis. They are alone, living off the grid in a harsh and unforgiving wilderness in Alaska, 1974. Ernst Albright has come home from the Vietnam War, a changed and volatile man, and has made the impulsive decision to move his wife and daughter north to America's last true frontier. Cora Albright will do anything for the man she loves, even if it means following him into the unknown. 13-year-old Lenny, caught in the riptide of her parents' passionate, stormy relationship, has little choice but to go along, daring to hope this new land promises her family a better future. Even though they have found a small, independent community of strong men and even stronger women, winter is approaching, darkness is descending, and Ernst's fragile mental state is deteriorating. Soon the perils outside pale in comparison to threats from within. In their small cabin, covered in snow, blanketed in 18 hours of night, Lenny and her mother learn the terrible truth. They are on their own. In the wild, there is no one to save them but themselves. This sweeping, unforgettable portrait of human frailty and resilience spans the decades in a place of incomparable beauty and danger, where a family learns the truth about the wilderness that lives in both man and nature. I feel like I kinda can tell like what the story is gonna be from some of the things that were written in the back of the book. I will read it, but we'll see if I'm gonna read it anytime soon. Let me know if you have read this book and your thoughts about the book. The next book that I got is actually a Christmas book. I just decided to get it because why not? I don't think I have any Christmas themed books in my library, maybe one or two, but this one is called A Holly Jolly Ever After by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I feel like I added this into my book outlet like wish listing. So when I saw it at the library for 50 cents, I decided to get it. Caleb is the funny one. As the arguably lesser of the 3 former members of the boy band Inc., he enjoyed his 15 minutes of fame and then moved home, where he opened an original pizza chain called Slice Slice Baby. He's living his best dad-bod life, hooking up with bridesmaids at all of his friends' weddings, but after an old one-off sex tape is leaked and quickly goes viral, Callum decides he's ready to step into the spotlight again, starring in a sexy Santa biopic for the Hope Channel. Winnie Baker did everything right. She married her childhood sweetheart, avoided the pitfalls of adolescent stardom, and transitioned into a stable acting career as an adult. Hell, she even waited until marriage to have sex. But after her perfect life falls apart, Winnie is ready to redefine herself. And what better way to do that than to star in a steamier than a steaming hot mug of cider Christmas movie? Wait, is this kind of like a rated XXX movie that they're doing? I'm so confused. Anyways, I guess I'll find out when I read the book. With decade-old Hollywood history between them, Winnie and Caleb are both feeling hesitant about their new situation as co-stars. Especially Winnie, who can't seem to fake on-screen pleasure she's never experienced in her real life. She's willing to do the pleasure research for science and artistic authenticity, of course, and there's no better research partner than her bridesmaid sex tape Hall of Fame co-star. But suddenly, Caleb's teenage crush on Winnie is bubbling to the surface, and Winnie might be catching feelings herself. They say opposites attract, but is this Holly Jolly Ever After really ready for its close-up? I didn't think it's gonna be a pretty kind of like steamy-ish or super steamy-ish book because it is a Christmas book, but I actually can't wait to read it. Let me know in the comment below if you have read this book and if it's a good book or not, or if it's super steamy. I mean, I don't mind reading steamy book, but to be honest with you, I did not expect this to be about that. But honestly, I can't wait. The next book that I got is actually a second book in a 3-book series. I have the first book, but I haven't really actually finished that book, so I didn't really buy the second and third book, but I found it at the library for 50 cents. And this is called Take a Hint, Dani Brown. Danica Brown knows what she wants: professional success, academic renown, and an occasional roll in the hay to relieve all that career-driven tension. But romance? Been there, done that. Burn the t-shirt. Romantic partners, whatever their gender, are a distraction at best and a drain at worst. So Dani asks the universe for the perfect friend with benefits, someone who knows the score and knows their way around the bedroom. When big brooding security guard Saveer Ansari rescues Dani from a workplace fire drill gone wrong, it's an obvious sign. PhD student Dani and former rugby player Zaf are destined to sleep together. But before she can explain that fact to him, a video of the heroic rescue goes viral. Suddenly, half the internet is shipping Dr. Rugby. And Zaf is begging Dani to play along. Turns out, his sports charity for kids could really use the publicity. Lying to help children? Who on earth would refuse? Dani's plan is simple: fake a relationship in public, seduce Zaf behind the scenes. The trouble is, grumpy Zaf is secretly a romantic, and he's determined to corrupt Dani's stone-cold realism. Before long, he's tackling her fears into the dirt, but the former sports star has issues of his own, and the walls around his heart are as thick as his thighs. Suddenly, the easy lay Dani dreamt of is more complex than her thesis. Has her wish backfired? Is her focus being tested? Or is the universe waiting for her to take a hint? Okay, I know the first book is kind of steamy as well, and I do expect that this one would be too, so I can't wait to read it. I definitely have to reread the first book and finish it before reading this one, so that's gonna be on my to be read list. The next book that I have is called The Magnolia Sword, A Ballad of Mulan by Sherry Thomas. I feel like there's a lot of this Mulan, I don't know, retelling or reimagined books. I did not realize that, but I decided to get it because it was only $1 and I just want to see what or how the story would be told. I've never really read a retelling or a reimagining story of Mulan before, so I decided to pick this up. All her life, Mulan has trained for one purpose: to win the duel that every generation in her family must fight. If she prevails, she can reunite a pair of priceless heirloom swords separated decades earlier and avenge her father, who was paralyzed in his own duel. Then a messenger from the emperor arrives, demanding that all families send one soldier to fight the Roran invaders in the north. Mulan's father cannot go. Her brother is just a child, so she ties up her hair, takes up her sword, and joins the army as a man. Thanks to her martial arts skills, Mulan is chosen for an elite team under the command of the princeling, the royal duke's son, who is also the handsomest man she's ever seen. But the princeling has secrets of his own, which explode into Mulan's life and shake up everything she knows. As they cross the Great Wall to face the enemy beyond, Mulan and the prince must find a way to unwind their past, unmask a traitor, and uncover the plans for the Roran invasion before it's too late. So it's a little bit different, I feel like. This one, Mulan has a little brother, which is, you know, I don't know about that. So I know the actual Mulan movie is based also on that same thing. What is it called? The ballad. It's like, I think, a song about Mulan. So I can't wait to read this. Let me know if you have read this book before. I've never heard of this book or the author, so I'm kind of excited to read it to see if I actually would like it. And if I do, I'm definitely gonna look for more of Sherry Thomas's books. The next book that I got is called Of Jaden Dragons by Amber Chen. I actually have added this book into my book outlet list for a long time, and I was able to get it for $1 from the library, and I saw it, so I decided to get it. I think when I look at Goodreads, this book is part of a duology, I think. The first one is this one, and the second one is coming out, I think, in 2025 sometime. So I decided to grab it. Hopefully I'll be able to read it before the second book comes out, but we shall see. 18-year-old Ai Hu Ying dreams of becoming a world-class engineer like her father. But after his unexpected murder, a heartbroken Ying is determined to discover why anyone would threaten a man who ultimately chose a quiet life over fame and fortune. Left with only a journal of her father's engineering secrets and a jade pendant snatched from the assassin, Ying follows the trail to the capital and the prestigious Engineers Guild, a place that harbors her father's hidden past. Disguised as her brother, Ying manages to infiltrate the male-only apprenticeship trial with the help of an unlikely ally, Aogia Yiyang, the nation's taciturn 8 prince. With her father's renown placing a target firmly on her back, Ying must stay one step ahead of her fellow competitors, the jealous guildmasters, and the killer still hunting for her father's journal. Complicating everything is her increasingly tangled relationship with the prince, who has mysterious plans of his own. The secrets hidden within the guild can be as deadly as the weapons they build, and with her life and the country's future at stake, Ying doesn't know who to trust. And can she avenge her father if it means going against everything he stood for? I mean, to me, it kind of sounds similar to Mulan. She has to like disguise herself as a man and have to avenge her father. I mean, it's, again, sounds pretty interesting, and I can't wait to actually read it. I guess Amber Chen is Singaporean Chinese, which is cool, and she graduated from University of Cambridge. She has other books before this one. So maybe if I like this one, I will check out her other books. Hopefully, like I said, I will read this book before the second book comes out. Second to last book, because I'm saving the best one for last, I guess. But this one, the next one, is called Moonstorm by Unhoneymooners. Again, this is a book that I have had in my book outlet wish listing for a long time, so I decided to get it when I saw it at the library for $1. Hua Yang was just 10 years old when Imperial forces destroyed her rebel moon home. Now, 6 years later, she is a citizen of the very empire that made her an orphan. Desperate to shake off her past, Hua Yang dreams of becoming a Lancer pilot, one of an elite group of warriors who fly into battle using the Empire's most advanced tech, giant martial robots. Lancers are powerful, and Hua Yang would do anything to be strong for once in her life. When an attack on their boarding school leaves her and her classmates stranded on an Imperial space fleet, her dreams quickly become reality. As it turns out, the fleet is in dire need of pilot candidates, and Hua Yang, along with her brainy best friend Gum, her rival Bei, and class clown Song Su, is quick to volunteer. But training is nothing like they expected, and secrets, like the ominous fate of the fleet's previous Lancer squad, and hidden truths about the rebellion itself are stacking up. And when Hua Yang uncovers a conspiracy that puts their entire world at risk, she's forced to make a choice between her rebel roots and an empire she's no longer sure she can trust. Super interesting. I am pretty sure that this is a standalone, so that actually is kind of better, so I don't have to read, books in a series or in a trilogy or a saga, so that would be cool. But again, if I do like this book, I'm definitely gonna look up more of this author's books, so let me know if you have read it or if you have read this book or any other books by this author, and leave them in a comment below. The last book that I got for $1 at the library is none other than Emily Henry's Great Big Beautiful Life, which is insane. I kind of know what the book is all about. I don't think I'm gonna read the synopsis, but this is not everyone's favorite Emily Henry books, which is kind of surprising to me. And I feel like somebody just donated the book after they finished reading it and not liking it, I assume. But I got this for $1, so I decided to just grab it. This is also the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition. So I just have this fancy, what is it called? End page or something. Actually, all of my Emily Henry books that I have are all paperback. So this is the only one that I have that is actually a hardcover. But for $1, I cannot pass this up, and I probably will read it eventually. I don't know if I want to read it this month or next month, but like I said, I know from other people's review, this is like not their favorite Emily Henry book. I mean, it could be mine because I know with Funny Story, I don't really like it. I kind of like started it, but I didn't finish it. But I decided to buy a copy anyway because it was on sale. So I'm gonna try it again and maybe I will like it better than my first read. And like I said, a lot of people don't like this book, but maybe it is the book for me. So we shall see. 16 books for $12 is unheard of. And I just encourage you to go to your local libraries if you love books and just see what kind of books they have in their used bookstore, because you never know what you'll find. And again, it is to support the library as well, and I'm happy to do it, especially if I can give these books a second home. Anyways, if you want to watch more book hauls, I'm gonna leave this next videos right here so you can watch it.